Hello everyone, it's Diane. If you saw my last flea market haul video, which would have been last Monday, I told you about an outdoor flea market that's very close to where I live that I had never been to. And I didn't have much time to go through it, so I didn't get to go through it all. And I showed you that I still found some pretty good things. Well, I did have to work today. It's tough to go on Mondays because most people have to work. But I went online to see how long they were open, wondering if I could go after work. And I think they're only open till 11, but I saw that they opened at 6:30. So I went before work. And oh my goodness, I am so glad I went. I can't wait to show you what I found. So let's just get into it. The first thing was something I really needed, but isn't all that exciting. And it's just a partial pack of these shipping tags. I would buy boxes like this at Staples. And they no longer sell manila ones. They only have these white ones, which I like and I'm using them, but I want my manila ones. I know I can order them online. And these have a softer tie, so I might be able to dye them and leave them on there. So anyway, that was $1. And as far as books go, I bought these 3 old books. They're like math textbooks, but they're small. I like the size. They're just a good size to fit in your hand, and I love the vintage look of the covers. I would probably have to make new spines because these are very, very thin, and I like my spines to be bigger with 2 or 3 signatures in the book. But $1 each. And I can use the inner pages too. So that was a pretty cool find. And then this one I didn't even look at the date. I don't know how vintage it is. I didn't buy it for its age. I bought it for the gorgeous cover. Well, I don't see it right away, but that cover is beautiful. So that does have a nice thick spine, so I'll probably keep that, because it's in very good shape because it's not all that old. And this was $1 also. And then for 50 cents, I got this. Dream Dolls. It's a little craft book. And I thought these would be adorable, these pages. Excuse me, these pages, or I could cut the dolls out and use them in junk journals. I don't know if there's a year on this either. 74. There's even a pattern drawn. Somebody traced the pattern on here. So there's a bunch of these little doll images that I thought were really cute. A lot of them are in color. For 50 cents, couldn't go wrong with that. And I found this. I think I paid $2 for this, but it's a Girl Scout friendship book. And inflation, it was 25 cents. And it's not used, and it's just all of these pages where the girls would paste a photo here and put the name and address, the phone number, the birthday, the troop number, and some things about them. So just taking these pages out and including them in junk journals will be really fun. And I've got to tell you, I spent more money than I really wanted to, but I will be making kits and packets of vintage items to sell in my shop. So that's the only reason that I went ahead and, well, wait till you see some of the other stuff I got. It's more than I will ever need to use personally. And the only reason I went ahead and bought them was so that I could actually put kits together to sell in my shop. And so there will be pages from that in some of the kits. And this, I paid $1 for these large vintage index tab cards. And I always wonder where people find their vintage bingo cards, and I actually found one. It says it's a 20 card set. I was going to say there's only 20 cards in there, but it's a complete set because it doesn't look very full in there. I thought there'd be a lot more cards, but there are 20. I counted them. So I got a set of bingo cards, and I can't remember if I paid $2 or $3 for this, but it was no more than $3. I don't know what I'll do with these. I'll probably keep some. I can I think that's probably about a 1 inch. So I can punch out designs with my 1 inch punch and glue them on and use them for decorations. And then there's little plastic. These are probably for the collar to use. But this is what I wanted, the cards. So some of them may be in the kits that I sell too. Now, there was a seller who had a couple of boxes and just papers and things thrown in the boxes, and most of it didn't have prices. And I asked him if I could just look through the boxes, and he said yeah. So there was really vintage stuff in there, and it's just thrown in there. So I collected some things I was interested in and took them to him and asked him what he would charge me. I'm not sure if this was part of it. I may have paid $1 for this magazine like it says here, or it might have been a part of this collection that I took to him, but it's a Woman's Day. Now I decided I have enough magazines because I bought 7 Life magazines last Monday, and I already had a few magazines left. But when you find a woman's magazine, they are harder to come by, a vintage one. And this is 1946, and it was $1. So I snatched that up, and there are some very cool images in here. Really neat. That's kind of a weird, I think it's a story illustration. But look at that. These are so neat. I will have a lot of fun with this book. Elsie the cow, remember her? So I may have paid $1 for that, or it may have been a part of this pile that I'm going to show you. This was wrapped in plastic and taped shut very securely, so I couldn't open it and see what this was. If I had opened it, it wasn't anything that I would probably be very interested in. But what I liked was I could see through the plastic on the back, this stencil. And it's got chemistry things. Containers and flasks and Bunsen burner, I think, maybe. And I don't even know what to call all of these things. But I thought that was a really cool stencil. And it goes with the St. Joseph's Hospital School of Nursing from Elmira, New York. So there's that. And like I said, all of these things were in one bundle. These are reproduction postcards. They're not vintage, but I don't know how old these reproductions are. Comes in a nice folder. There are 5 different designs, and there are either 4, 5, or 6 of each design. So there's that one. They're all Christmas. This one says New Year's on it, but it's talking about the Christ child. And there's the back, and it does say reproduction. There's that one. And then my favorite one, I thought there were 5. Oh yeah, there are 5 designs. Here's one. But my favorite one, there were 6 of these, and I love that. It says Happy Christmas Tide. So there's 6 of those. So you'll be seeing some of those in my Etsy shop too. And then these papers were just loose. All of this stuff was just loose. Is there something in there? Yeah. In that box. And I just brought all of this to him. So let me show you. There's just this little card. Compliments of U.S. Baking Company, Boston, Massachusetts, and it's half a year's calendar, but it doesn't have a year on it. But I love that card. And then this is a mirror, but it's a 1957 calendar, which I will be giving you my age, but it's the year I was born, and all it has on it is December. So I would not have paid for this, but it was just thrown in with the rest of this lot here. This is from, well, I'll show you. This wasn't even, these papers were not even in the envelope. I just happened to pick them both up and put them both in the pile, and when I got home and went through things, I realized that they really belonged together. To D.S. Brown Company, Harness, Horse Collars, and Saddles. So these are bills. This is from Watertown, New York. And this is the envelope that it came in, and it's dated 1910. Wow. I like that postmark too. And then this little Christmas shipping label. Looks like it's the kind you would wet and stick, but I'll probably make a Christmas junk journal and include that. And this is just an empty envelope from 1920 from Alaska. But it was sent to somebody in Pennsylvania. I can't read the name of the town. But it's all Miss Eunice Gerald, the name of the town in Pennsylvania. That's all the address there is. And then this calendar is 1944. So I just wanted these little pages of the calendar to accent junk journal pages. United States Railroad Administration, W.G. McAdoo, Director General of Railroads, Lehigh Valley Railroad. It says 19 something, but it doesn't have the date there. But it's Sayre, Pennsylvania, which is where I lived until 2 years ago. And it's a neighboring town. I can walk there. And I do walk there. And it was a big railroading area. So you've probably noticed I get a lot of railroad ephemera. Well, there, so there's 2 sheets of that. That's pretty neat. And then this is just a letter that was dated 1903. Some legal matter about somebody killing somebody else's calf. And then Pyatt's Motor Truck Service, 1935. Railway Express Agency, 1935. This is a receipt from Towanda, Pennsylvania from 1935. And Banfield Jennings Corps, bulbs, lawn, garden, flower, and field seeds, 1935. Probably came all out of the same person's files. And then I got this whole stack of these freight bills for Susquehanna and New York Railroad Company. And these are 1935 also. How great are these? There's different shades. This is even a different... This isn't from the railroad company, I don't think. So, there's those. And then this one that's not written on, Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad Company. Just some blank forms. I know I haven't told you the price of all this yet. And then this box of orchid stationery. I don't know how many sheets, but it's got this little band on it. And all of the sheets have the orchid on them. Many times when you buy stationery, half of the sheets have the design and the other half are plain. And then all these envelopes that look very vintage. Oh wow, look how faded that is. That is really cool. So these will be fun to use. So I got that in this bundle. And this 1922 calendar. He had 2 of these, but I only grabbed 1. Just some very vintage cars. Auto Memories of 1922. So that's neat. So then, this was my favorite thing out of this. And he said he would charge me for all of this what he would normally charge for just this, which was $15. I don't know if I would have paid $15 for this. I would have wanted to, but all of this was in it too, so I did pay $15 for it. And this is a whole pad of receipts, Meredith Bottling Works. And I don't think there's a date on it, but it must be from the 1960s because it says 196 and then the blank there. So it's from the 1960s, and it's got triplicate. There's white and tan and pink forms. And there's the carbon paper at the back. So these will definitely be in some kits on my Etsy shop. So I thought that was pretty good. $15 for all of that. And my favorite things, that was really good stuff. Really good stuff, especially this. But my favorite things are, I saved for last. This is a pack of playing cards, but it is copyrighted 1909. And they're thinner. They're not as heavily coated as the more modern cards. And look at that image. A lady and her dog. And this is more of a sepia toned. And I didn't count them. I don't know if it's a complete set of cards, but look at that aging. I've never seen any cards like this. I paid $3 for this pack of cards and very pleased with it because of how old it is and because of that gorgeous image. And then I got this 1961 Spiegel Catalog. And all of the clothing. There's lots of images of furniture and curtains and even fabrics. You could buy fabrics, children's clothes. But of course I was interested in the front part, which is the women's fashions. So I will have a lot of fun with this. And I did pay $15 for this. He had it marked for $20, but he didn't even haggle. He just said, I can do better than that. I'll give it to you for $15. And when I saw the images in the front, I said, yes, please. And last but not least, I always also wondered where people found the milk caps. And I never saw them in that. I didn't know they came like that. I didn't know how these milk caps worked, but they come in these little things and you just pop them out. And so I thought they were really neat. And he had a whole big bag of the white ones and a whole big bag of the orange and green and yellow ones. And this is what I'm talking about when I said the only reason I bought some of this stuff was thinking that I could divvy it up and sell it and get some of my money back for it on Etsy. Because I don't need this many milk bottle caps, but I did not want to leave these there. So I will pop them out of the little surroundings because they'll ship a lot cheaper this way. And they will be listed in my shop. So I was very pleased with what I found today, and only a little uneasy about the money I spent because I will be recouping some of it, hopefully. So I want to get busy. I'm going to take probably a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks off of creating and just go through my room and get it organized and cleaned up, which it desperately needs. And I'll be separating out some things that I can put some kits together with. I will be doing a little bit of crafting. I can't just go for that long without crafting, but the main focus is going to be organizing this mess. So look for videos on some vintage ephemera and maybe some journaling kits that I will be putting together. Let me know your thoughts on these items and on my idea of selling some ephemera in my shop. I really appreciate your comments, and I appreciate the support you have given me in the shop that I opened. It hasn't been very long. It's been a few months, and I've sold a lot of journals through the shop, and I really, really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.